And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semi-finals or semi-finales of the PiGosaur Monday number 18. Whew, it's been an intense tournament already here. We have made it to those semis. We made it to the top 4, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have the blue Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss representing Weibo Gaming WBG. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Zerg player representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you believe will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat as you have some time to get your Gamba going as we settle into our Protoss versus Zerg. Here we go. As again, herO, of course, he is hot off a second place finish against Clem last night. I do recommend the VODs, but we did cover the WarDTV Monday. And herO, he did quite well for himself, making it all the way to those finals, and we'll see if he can do it again. Coming into this, I would favor herO. herO, he is favored in this series 100%. But Solar, he is one that can definitely make him work for it, and definitely make him bleed as well. I'm hoping for an ace match at least, and we could even see Solar bring him down, but he has to bring his A game here against herO. To bring his A game. As we're loading into Frostline, one of the larger maps in the map pool. Very difficult to defend bases as well, so I'm a little bit surprised. I'm a little bit surprised that we're loading into Frostline of all maps, a map that is usually vetoed in this matchup just because of how difficult it is to maintain your economy, but it does favor aggression, and we've seen both Solar and herO embrace aggression here. As a reminder, we've seen Solar already go for 2 base all-ins, 3 base all-ins in this matchup. And 3-base play can be very difficult to deal with here on Frostline. What I'm getting at and what I'm referring to is how indefendable the 3rd and 4th base are, how wide open these bases are, and how exposed they are, how just ramp the natural is as well. How wide and how large the natural ramp is, whether it's at the 3rd base, whether it's at the 4th as well. It's very difficult to hold. So we'll see which one of our players is going to be the aggressor initially. As we do have a bit of a pause. So far we're settling in. Solar going for his for his linear 3rd base. Likewise, herO going to be opening up Stargate. Standard play so far in this game. So far. Hello, Duck. ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Quack, papi, quack.
Game resumed.
Duck. Good to see you. Good to see you. What's the over-under on herO having a janky wall? I mean, the thing is that usually, not always, but usually herO, he will have a janky wall, Lings will flood in, Lings will get into the mineral lines, and herO won't lose anything. Like, that's usually how things go. Not always. There are times where herO is punished very hard for not having a wall, but more often than not, he likes it. He likes, like, the Zerg player diving in, likes the Lings in the mineral lines. It's one of those things where herO, he's just really well versed at that kind of scenario and that kind of defense when it comes to like reactive warp-ins and probe drilling his workers and saving his mineral lines. It's something that herO is used to more than any other player because it happens all the time. It's one of those things where he most likely has like the best mineral line defense in the world because he so often has to defend his mineral line because Lings are always in there. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, it would be better and it would be easier if he never had to deal with those Lings and never had to deal with those run-bys, but, you know, it is what it is. As the Overlord is being hunted down, herO is taking his 3rd. And Solar does get supply blocked for a moment. Getting his 3rd base up and running, droning, saturating. Spores are on the way. And herO is just getting into his additional Oracle production. 2nd Oracle has arrived, setting up his 3rd. And we have a 3rd Oracle on the way. So triple Oracle opener into a 3rd base. Standard play here at a herO. From here we should be seeing a Forge, a Twilight Council, +1, and Blink into the mid-game. It's really the mid-game where my eyes are going to be on both players. Does Solar saturate his 4th? That's my question. Does he saturate his 4th base? Does herO throw down his gases? Does he go for a 3-base all-in into an 8-gate, or does he take up into Storm and Colossus? So those are my big signs that I'm looking for. Until then, Oracles, they dive in, they get 1, they get 2 drones, not bad. 2 workers going down. herO does pull away. There's that standard follow-up. Ooh, hero taking a lot of damage here on that first Oracle. Takes a lot of hits. Has to pull away. Does pull back. Solo potentially could snipe that Oracle. But here he races back home. Does run that Oracle back home. Moving out with his Adepts. The aggression continues. 5 Adepts and 2 Oracles towards the bases. I say 5, sorry. 6 Adepts even. Let's see what hero can get done. But now clearing up creep. Threatens the Queens. Doesn't dive in. Shades into the main. And does come into the shade. But League's in position. They get a surround. Oracles are coming to support, but Queens, they get the surround as well. They can force back the army. The Adepts, they are going to be dealt with. And Solar defends. Whew. Solar does defend. Oracles are trying to get out. 1 Oracle goes down. Massive pickup. Solar defends quite beautifully, actually. Shuts down the Adepts, shuts down the Oracles. 1 Oracle survives. We have a backup Oracle on the way. Now, this is something that not many Protoss players actually do, but here he's always on top of this. If he does lose an Oracle in the early game, he will replace it. Oracles they have so much value here. They're one of the most important units in PvZ because of their stasis traps, their pulsar beams, their scouting potential, their revelations. Oracles are so important here. So he is rebuilding. Likewise, fully walling up, and Jesus, how many gates? Oh my god! Now here is taking gases, so he is getting up to 9 gateways. That's a lot of gateways here on 3 bases for hero, but he's taking extra gas geysers, so that tells us that he will have the capability here to take up into either storm or splash damage. Colossus as well. We'll see which route he takes, if any. It also, there we go. We have the take of choice, Temple Archives, and this also means that hero is going to expand. Here he should take a 4th. So here he's building up towards a longer game state. I appreciate the full wall off as well. It is, I mentioned before, it's very difficult to defend this 3rd base, so he just completely walls off with shield batteries, with gateways, with pylons, and second the cannon as well. And this is how hero's approach to Frostline mid to late game is going to be, with these full wall offs. Likewise, moving out across the map, he's not committed. His goal here is to clear up creep. And we'll see if he can find anything else. Meanwhile, Solar, he is joining up his 4th. He's joining up his 4th base. We have further tech, infestation pits, a hive is on the way, lurker den as well. So we're both headed towards a longer game state. Hero into Storm, Solar into Hydra Lurker Viper. So we have a game. We have a game on our hands. Hero catching out all those active tumors. Nicely done. Takes down the tumors, rotates around. Solar baiting at the stasis traps. Nicely done. Hero has to pull away. Storm is halfway done. Hive is completing. And we should be seeing those lurker upgrades as soon as possible. And there it is. Lurker range on the way. Hero being forced back again. He's playing with fire here. Dancing with Solar. Lurkers are now morphing in. Now, initially, I will say that Solar will have the edge when it comes to his army composition. I do feel like Mass Lurker is going to have the advantage initially. I say initially because Storm is going to do a great job at zoning away the Ling Hydra, and we should soon be seeing Immortal and Disruptor production. Mainly Immortal first. But Hero's not there yet. As that is the first Robo on the way. Hero going for his Zealot run by. I appreciate as well that Hero, he's actually parked outside of his base to engage early on before falling back to his 3rd. Speaking of, yep, shaves off some Lings. Drop alerts are amassing. Zealots, they do hit the 4th, sorry, the 5th even. And the 5th, it's going to go down. He gets a full surround. There's no saving this. Solar, he races back home. And not in time. So very nice run by here by Hero. Drop lords are set up. You can see him here. 6 drop lords towards the south side. And Solar can go for a Doom drop. But right now, Solar, he's delayed. He's distracted. Zealots, they trade well, cleaning up these Lings. Now they're finally going to go down. But this bought so much time. It allowed Hero to saturate the 4th and build up the Archons. Archons, High Templar. Fleet Beacons on the way for Skytos. 2nd Stargate as well. Working towards Tempest and Carriers. Here comes that Doom drop. And here he does miss this. Keeping up with the Lurkers. Here being forced further back. Where are the storms? Was so far. Droplord almost goes down to the cannons. Here going for another Zealot run by. Back at home. Reactive warp in. Nothing in position. And here's in trouble. Here is in trouble here. Takes down a lurker. Drop into the natural. Full overload is going down. Oh my god. And here he will shut this down. Lurkers, they have a hard time burrowing. Revelation goes up. Cleans up the lurkers. Here he defends the natural. The third base is still under fire. And here defends the fourth. So far here he's keeping up. And here, as you can see here, he hasn't really lost any workers. He gets 7 drone kills across the map. And probes are just now going down. Oh, Lings, they get 1 High Templar. They get 1, they get 2. Oh my god. As Solar, he has broken the expansion. Yeah, here he did not reinforce. He was out of position. He did not have to react as hard as he did to the third base. Yeah, here he did slip up in his defense here. Ay. I'm waking up. And Solar, he's broken the fourth. He's broken the fourth base. That's all he wanted. He's getting even more. Again, herO was just doing such a great job defending and holding initially until this moment. Until he did overreact to the third base. He left his fourth base vulnerable. Didn't take it seriously enough. He had too much faith in those High Templar. We saw something similar happen with Shameless, actually. Very similar. And I don't see how herO can retake that fourth. We spoke earlier, like the fourth base is just so difficult to defend. We brought up the third and fourth. What we're getting at is just how difficult it is to rotate between the bases. Which is why it's impressive that herO, he almost held. Oh my god. Storms a pop-up. But there's no more storms. No more splash damage. Solar, he is breaking through. Takes down the Archon, getting within range of the wall. And he just has so much momentum on his side. Nice slow zone. herO, he's holding on. Throwing up all these lurkers. Massive damage here. Lurkers are going down. And Solar overextends. Does overextend. herO, he's still in this game. He's behind. Don't get me wrong. herO, he is behind. He has to rebuild that base. Build up his economy once again. Likewise, a Tempest army is not the most mobile of forces. But herO does survive. And remember, Solar, his economy isn't ideal behind this either. He was losing workers earlier, losing bases. Now building up corruptors. I do want to still give the edge to Solar just because of his economy. It's still in a better place. But he lost how many lurkers? 17! 17 lurkers went down. Crazy. That's actually insane. That's oh my god. Hefty losses for Solar. And here he's recovering. And if herO can get this fourth base back up and running, I will give him the edge. I will give him the advantage here. But he needs that fourth. He does need this expansion. Solar still trying to recover. Catches an Immortal. Not bad. Up. Never mind. The Immortal is saved. Oh my god. Barely saves the Immortal. And again, so important here that here he builds up that Immortal count. The Immortals, their ideal opponent here is going to be the Lurkers. At the end, it's the Lurker. Storm for the Ling Hydra. And Tempest for everything else. Oh. Catching the Overseer. Takes down an Overseer. Catches a couple of Changelings. Shading off Lings. Solar still having a really hard time remaxing just because his army is so expensive. I corrupted Lurker from scratch. A very expensive army. That's why despite the economy here, Solar has not been able to max. He lost too many Lurkers earlier. So herO, he gets his fourth. He gets his fourth base. Supply block Solar. Now we are lacking stack defense, but as I say that, herO, he throws it down. Cannon, shield batteries, backup pylons. herO, he's securing himself. And herO, he has a terrifying army. Looking at the unit tab here, herO, he's got 6 Tempests, 4 Archons, 4 Immortals, 4 High Templar with Storm, Mothership as well. Slow zone. Solar's in trouble. herO has the greater army. And there's barely any creep. Solar, he needs the ideal engagement. He needs maybe a surround. coming in from multiple angles. He does push forward, but the storms, they pop up. Legacy coming from behind. And storms on the Corruptors. Lurkers doing what they can. Corruptors are getting low. And the Corruptors, looks like they are going down. Yeah, herO, he does it. He breaks through the defensive line, takes down the Corruptors, the Lurkers. GG gets called, and herO, he survives. He snowballs out of control and takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Impressive play there by herO. Again, things are looking dire for herO, but Solar overextended. Winding it back, Solar did a great job at pulling herO apart and breaking the 4th base. Solar had a massive advantage after killing the 4th and containing herO to 3 bases. But if you remember, Solar, he tried to push into the natural. He kept going, and he lost, I want to say it was like 8 or 9 extra lurkers. He lost like 8 or 9 extra lurkers trying to push into that natural. Hydras as well. So he lost what army was left over, and Solar's army was reset. It was reset then and there. In total, he lost, what was it, like 14 or 17 lurkers? It was crazy just how much he had lost. And because of that, we saw that I was hoping that Solar would be the first to max out to keep going. He couldn't. He could not max out. Again, it was just a really expensive army for Solar, being forced to just rebuild his lurker count from 0 and build up his Corruptors as well. By the time Solar had maxed, herO had stabilized. So after killing the 4th base, Solar just stuck around a little bit too long. Was a little bit over eager, was punished for it. GG. GG, well played. Whew. And with that, herO does take a 1-0 advantage. And we'll see if he can claim the 2-0. And I'll be honest, I do feel like game 1 on Frostline was Solar's game to win. Even before the game state and before the aggression out of Solar, we spoke about how it's very difficult to defend your bases and to fortify yourself on 4 bases on Frostline, and an aggressing player is going to be favored. So in my mind, I was favoring Solar when it came to his Hydra aggression. For him to lose that game, it doesn't bode well. Does not bode well, because these future maps are going to be easier to defend and easier for herO to build up into that kind of game state. So it gets harder from here on forward for Solar. Oh boy. And game 2 is going to be on ley lines. And ley lines is a more defendable map. Is more defendable. So we'll see how our Zerg player will change his approach as we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Zerg player leading the series, South Korean Protoss player leading the series 1-0, representing Weibo Gaming. It is herO. And spawning in the top... Spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is a Solar. We go. See Mr. Miller in the chats talking about no answer to the mothership. I do apologize if I gave that impression. If so, that's a failing on my part. But just to reiterate once again, Solar in that last game, he did overextend. He lost too much after he had killed the 4th base. That is what set him behind. That is what allowed herO to bounce back in that game. It was more so kind of the overextension of Solar and losing all of his army, of course, that did kind of lead to that downfall. Less so like kind of like herO's individual units there, or the mothership, for example. I would say that even if we had the older mothership, it still would have been the same game state. Like herO still would have won, even if it was the previous iteration of the mothership. So if you're gonna cry that balance, cry somewhere else. Go cry somewhere else. As we are settling in so far, hatch gas pull. Standard opener out of Solar, force to take the unnatural natural, and here he goes for his gate expand into Cybercore. And my biggest concern here as we load into ley lines, as I mentioned before, more defendable. We have a ramp coming into the 3rd base, we have a ramp coming into the 4th. These bases are closer together, so it is easier to rotate between these bases. So because of that, I want to give there is a greater defender's advantage here to whoever is being more defensive, I should say, whether it's herO or Solar. So I'm curious to see if Solar will adapt here and will adjust his build. We'll see. We shall see. Here we go. And even coming into this, if you remember, I did mention how herO, he was favored here. Like, herO, he is, like, arguably the best player in the world. Best Protoss, I should emphasize, in the world. Or top 2 alongside MaxPax. Like, MaxPax had a really good showing during the League Cup. herO had a better showing in Masters Coliseum. Both performing quite well as of late. But again, the pressure is on Solar. But now, dipping in. Now, it does dip in. And again, Solar had a really strong start last game. Like, it was impressive to see Solar pull herO apart and break the fourth. Like, he had a much stronger start. But again, it's one of those things where, despite being ahead, you can't afford those mistakes against a player like herO. These top players, whether it's herO, whether it's MaxPax, Serral, Raynor, Clem, like the best of the best of their respective races. Maru as well, like, you can't afford those missteps. Here we go. For the time being. Oracle moves out. Once again, triple Oracle opener into our third base. Everything's looking normal from the side of herO. Everything's looking standard. Solar is pulling back. Oracle with raining kind of drones, and he shouldn't get the worker. There we go. Does force the Evo chamber. Queens rotate between the bases. Oracles, they dip in. Going for the stasis. Up. So far, good reactions here out of Solar. Not really losing anything. We'll take one stasis to the face with one drone. One more drone gets caught out. And no major losses. The Oracles, they take a lot of hits. Oh my god. Oracles, they take a lot of damage. Here he recalls back home. And Solar defends. Solar, so far, he does defend nicely. Third Oracle has arrived. herO building up his adepts. This time herO, he does not lose an Oracle prematurely. This time he's ready. Adepts are moving out. Standard follow-up, +1, and Twilight Council. Or Fortune Twilight Council, +1 and Blink. Lings, they do slip in, and they get a full scout. They shouldn't get much damage done, but they get a full scout of the main. Up! Getting one probe. They get one worker. herO defends. Likewise, does threaten to shade into the main, but shouldn't commit. Again, the Oracles are back at home. They're not here across the map to support these adepts. So herO pulls away. Does pull away. Upgrades are now in production. Now we can settle it. Oh. I hate the Oracle skin. The fact that they're like, they're a little bit, they're rounder than usual. They're a little bit thicker. Ah, no. It's fine. It's fine. They're not as sleek as the default skin, I would say that. They're like mini disruptors in the air. Visually, I mean. Here it does rotate. Keeping tabs on Solar. Solar does go for the safety Roach Horn this time. As a reminder, he did not go for that in the previous game. And Solar, he's at 3 base saturation. He's at 6 drones. herO behind this. On 5 gateways, poking in, trading well, shaving off those lings. Hasn't lost a Stalker yet. Commits to the shade. Gets into the mid-run, but he's going to be shut down. He's going to be punished. Solar, he defends. Does up and back at home. Oh. Lings getting caught out. herO still trading very well. Does reinforce. Behind this, gases are being taken. Here he bleeds out a couple of Stalkers. A couple of Stalkers go down, but nice target firing at a herO, and Solar is bleeding out a lot of Roaches here. These are expensive losses for Solar. And remember, Solar, he has no saturation at the 4th. There's no saturation. Just committed on 3 bases. And here he's taking up. Charge on the way. Robo's on the way. We have Overlord speed. Solar is going for the all-in. He's going for an all-in. He has no intention of droning. But he's already being slowed down. That's a problem here. Lings, they force a defensive warp in. Here is still pushing forward, trading well. Oh, leaves out 2 Stalkers. 2 Stalkers go down. Stage Rats, they just keep going. Oh! They try to at least. herO rushing to Skytoss. This could get him killed. This is very greedy here from herO. Rushing into Skytoss on 3 bases. 4th is on the way. But remember, Solar's going for the all-in. And you can see here in the supplies, Solar hits a massive army. Now the supply is inflated, so don't let that fool you. The soup does lie. Solar, he transfers workers over, but he has not been droning. And here comes the push. Here comes the move out, and herO, he's out of position. herO expanding, teching, being far too greedy. And Solar, he's here to punish. Up! Baylor doesn't get the Immortal. So close. Drop Lords come in with the Queens. And here he's racing back home. He's getting caught in the center of the map, though. Here he's in trouble. Queens, they drop in. They shut down the Oracles one after the other. Vials, oh, they take down the Oracle. The Snipe, the Vials. And so he's done it. He's broken the 3rd. herO still getting caught down in the center. Remember, herO, he was expanding. He was taking up into Skytoss. Like, herO, he was not ready for this whatsoever. He had no idea. He did not check the saturation. It didn't click. It didn't click for herO. And Solar, he has done it. I did mention before that here on ley lines, the bases are more defendable. I stand by that. But that doesn't mean that you can take a 4th base and rush into Skytoss. Like, herO was just so greedy. And this time he gets punished for that greed. Like, herO, he was trading well. He was trading very well with those Stalkers. Very efficiently. But he got caught with his pants down. Solar, he busts into the natural. Probe's going to be falling. Queen's waddling in. And there's just not much here to defend at home. I mean, sure, we have some Tempest. The Mothership has arrived, and that will help defend. But all Solar needs back at home is anti-air. Solar, he backs up. He retreats from here. Took down the 3rd. Took down the 4th. herO's stuck on a 1-base economy. And despite having the Skytoss, there's no sustain. There's no support. Solar going for the Spire. Just has to make a handful of Corruptors and he'll be fine. And even then, he's just ignoring the Tempest. Like, he just waddles in anyway. No care in the world. The Tempest, they do nothing. They do nothing, Pappy. They will eventually clean this up, but alas, another 4 probe kills. Stalkers go down in the main. Which is just target firing whatever they can. And here he holds. He quote-unquote holds. He's down to 14%. GG gets called. And Solar ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Again, here he was trading very well with his 5-gate Stalker aggression, picking off Lings, picking off Roaches, picking off Queens, but he didn't really confirm the saturation at the 4th base that he was pushing into, or again, it just didn't click in his mind that Solar wasn't droning. Likewise, he missed the Drop Lord move out, he missed the attack towards the right-hand side. So it was caught completely off guard, completely out of position. And again, herO was being just so greedy, going for the 4th expansion, 2nd Stargate, and a fleet beacon as well, into Mothership, into Tempest. It was crazy. Whereas if he was aware that there was aggression coming, then we would have seen like a 2nd Robo, Immortal production, more shield batteries, more stack defense, and we would have seen a much cleaner defense there out of herO. Alas, he was caught out. GG. GG, well played. That leads us into the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. And we'll see how this story ends. Honestly, this could go either way. This could go either way. I'm just happy that we have an ace match. That's all I wanted out of this series. And we are going to be loading into Amygdala. Interesting. We're loading into Amygdala here. Is going to be one of the larger maps in the map pool. Very defendable as well. Now, the last time we saw Solar on this map, it was against Shameless. Last time we saw him against Shameless, and Solar, he went for a 3-base all-in with Drop Lord. He went for a Drop Lord all-in on 3-base economy, and he was able to pull Shameless apart. Similar to what we saw in Frostline, actually. Very similar to the game that we saw in Frostline. So we could see that again, but I'm not too in love with the idea of Solar going for the same build multiple times in a series. So we'll see. We shall see. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And fun fact, it's both players that had like a stronger start to the game lost. Where Solar in game 1, he was like popping off, he was killing the 4th base, he was getting economic damage, he was doing well for himself, then he overextended. In game 2, a little bit different, but herO, he was, again, trading well on a 3-base setup with his Blink Stalkers, but then was too greedy. And was too greedy in the aftermath, and was punished for that greed. Now coming into the ace match, how do we adjust? Now, I feel like a lot of mind games are going to come into play. A lot of mind games here on Amygdala. On the one hand, this is a large map. It's a macro map. It is much easier to defend on 3 and then 4 bases here. So we could see herO do something similar. We could see him be greedy once he gets momentum and rush into Sky Toss. And I wouldn't blame him for it here on Amygdala. At the same time, as I mentioned, the last time we saw Solar on this map did go for a 3-base all-in. Did go for a 3-base all-in with Dropper Lords, with a split push with Lurker Tech as well. Which is what we saw from Solar in game 1, but because we saw it in game 1, there's less of a chance that we're going to be seeing it here in the ace match. But if Solar believes that herO is going to be greedy, then it's going to be more viable. Like it's like scouting is going to be paramount, and we'll see how our players approach this. For now, ooh, Solar going for a very fast third hatchery. Bold move. So we spoke earlier how this map is quite large. It's known for being greedy, known for being more defendable, so Solar's cutting corners. Basically, he delays the second queen. Second queen is delayed in favor of a faster third, so a lot greedier here out of Solar. It does mean that the early game defense is going to be more difficult as his second queen is late, but he's kind of, gambling a little bit and assuming that herO won't be too aggressive and that Solar will get away with this. And I believe he should. As the third base is on the way. Again, on a map like Amygdala, you can afford to cut some corners. Maybe not all the corners, but you can cut some of them. Behind this, Stargate opener out of herO. Stalker's moving out. herO, he confirms the timing of the third base, sees that it's almost done, so now he's aware. For now, hero's going to be forced back. And herO did not open up double adept. He opened up with a Stalker, which means he has less to threaten the mineral lines. Well, he does want that Overlord, though. Once the Overlord, he shouldn't get it. The Overlord should get on top of the pillar. Yeah, the Overlord will survive. It's nice cheeky damage here out of herO, but nothing major, as he should not get the queen. He's playing with fire, might I add. Okay. Calm down, herO, calm down. I mean, link speed isn't done, and the queen count is lower, but still, bold move. Third base now on the way for herO. Threatens a shade. Link speed is almost done, and herO, he should soon back off, as he does want to lose these units. Oracle's on the way. True. Without the Oracle, he can kill that Overlord, and he can protect himself from those lings. Oracle has arrived. Overlord's under fire. Second adept has arrived. When herO backs off. Okay. Does back off. If Solar didn't react with those queens, and if he didn't have enough lings, then he could have been punished for it, but so far, Solar plays well. Defense is Overlord, defense is third base, and herO retreats. And now we can embrace Amygdala. Now, when it comes to this map, and when it comes to what I was referring to earlier here, again, the map has a very large map, very long resistance by ground. Likewise, a very defendable bases here, whether it comes to the third, the fourth base as well. As I say that, Solar's moving out with those lings. Oh, as the Oracle gets surrounded, one Oracle goes down, massive pick off. And no damage so far out of herO. Good reactions out of Solar, pulls away, saves the drones. Oof. And herO takes a lot of hold damage on that second Oracle. Yeah, rough start for herO. And Solar is massing up lings. Well, lings, they did slip into the main. 2 probes, not bad. They hit the third. Oracle's not quite in position. But being aggressive on this map can be very difficult. The reason for this is because the attack paths are very limited up until a certain point. What I'm referring to is that we have one main attack path towards the south, one main attack path towards the north, but rotating between them is very difficult as the aggressing player. This is why drop lord based all-ins are more common, because they can just go straight through the middle, as there are rocks in the center that do kind of block any kind of ground-based aggression. So we see a lot of drop lord based all-ins here from the side of Zerg, for good reason. Other than that, though, ground-based aggression can be quite difficult to pull off. And there it is! Fleet Beacon. And as I was saying at the start of the game, rushing to a Fleet Beacon and rushing to a Stargate makes more sense on Amygdala. Now, it's difficult to call because herO was punished last game for this same build, for this same setup. We'll see if we can get away with it this time. Also, I did misspeak. I say the same build, same setup. This is earlier. Blink is halfway done. Like, Blink is only halfway done. This is a much faster transition out of herO. Rushing so quickly here into Tempest, into the mothership. But again, this is a map that you can get away with that on. And Solar, he's taking. He's getting a 4th base, he's droning. What do you see? Hydrogen and Infestation Bit. This tells us he intends to drone up the 4th and take up into Hive, which means herO should get away with this. Here comes the scouts. Overseer diving in. Up, and it looks like he will confirm Fleet B against Stargate as well. He knows. Solar knows what's happening. And instantly a Spire gets thrown down. Spire is on the way. So good scout, good response. Solar is aware. And herO, he should get away with it, that is true. But Solar, he's going to be ready. He's going to be ready with a 4-base economy, with Corruptors. He won't just roll over and die. Now we have a game. We have a back and forth. Oh boy. Everyone knows what's happening. Even herO, because he knows he got scouted, he knows there should be a Spire. Both players going for their goal bases. Solar, he's already droned up to 82. Solid drone counts. Now we're just taking and macroing up. herO going for the gold. This is going to be a very difficult base to fortify here. The gold base, you can only get away with it if you do have map control yourself. Otherwise, it is very easy to abuse. So we'll see if herO can maintain that expansion. As Solar, he's opening up the center of the map. Knocking down those rocks. Oh, catching out the oracles. Oh, okay, here he does pull away. Whew. Does pull away in time. Queen spreading creep. More rocks falling. And here he needs to pull up a defense here. As he's building up his Tempest, his mothership. It's not going to be an easy hold. Solar, he wants to fight out in the open. herO, so far, kiting well. Picks off a couple of Lings, a couple of Hydras. Nothing major. It's 3 Lings and a Hydra. Solar getting his gold. +1 air attack. And Solar's going to be the first to max out. And here he needs to fight with shield batteries. Without them, I'm not so sure he can hold. Oh, Oracle barely doesn't go down. Whew. Lings get punished. Here he's holding. So far so good. He is holding on. And at this stage, Solar, he has to make a choice. Does he commit? I think he should commit here. But he's not taking. There's no second Spire. There's no Greater Spire or Adrenal. Just focusing on maxing out. Catching out 4 probes. Rotating over. There it is. There's the Infestation Pit. It's a late pit here for Solar. Which means a late Hive. Uh-oh. And that makes him that much more committed here. Sorry, I just assumed that he had it. If you recall, I did see it cancel earlier and it didn't click in my mind. Because in my brain, I thought that he canceled the Hydrogen, but then I saw Hydra production. If you remember, earlier, Solar, he was going Hydras with the Infestation, but he canceled the pit for the Spire. Which means no Hive. Oh, Stalkers, they get caught out. Corruptors, they go for the dive. And, oh, they do not get the Mothership. Mothership does get out in time. And against Solar, this Lurker tech, the Hive tech, it's all going to be delayed. Mothership goes down. Nice pick up. Mothership does fall. Rocks are going to be falling as well. Solar, he does at least some mining here. But, the lack of tech is hurting him. As I'm concerned. Meanwhile, big shout to Jimmy. Oh my god, get some sleep, you animal. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jimmy. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great stream. And I hope you had some good games during your tournament run as well. Thank you so much. Get some sleep. It's like, what, 4 a.m.? Mate. Jimmy. I like how Jimmy's like, oh, you know, like I'm ruining my sleep schedule to play these tournaments. Like I'm so tired. And I'm pretty sure you were laddering, right? Like, mate. God damn it. Jimmy. Oh, these tournaments are so late. Let me just ladder until 4 a.m. Jimmy. Take care of yourself. Cobium, man. Cobium. As welcome one more to the semifinals of the PiGosaur Monday number 18. This is the semis, ace match as well. For those that are curious, this game, herO, he rushed into Skytos real fast and real quick. He rushed into Tempest at an early stage. Solar, he did scout, he did respond with an early Spire, but Solar, he delayed his Hive. So his Hive is late. But just now getting to Lurker tech. Just now getting to Lurker upgrades. The Tempest kind of is getting out of hand though. That's a lot of Tempest. Getting up to 8 Tempest here for herO. Getting up to 10 even. 2 more Tempest on the way. Corruptors go for the dive. Up! And they get 1. 1 Tempest goes down, he gets 1, he gets 2. Up to 3. 3 Tempest kills, not bad. Stalker's out of position. A nice trade for Solar. At the same time, within range of the mineral line. Denies any kind of mining. Tempest are trying to hold their own. Once again, the Stalkers, they can't quite defend. There's another Tempest falls. Nice Storm. Better Storm than the Corruptors. Oh, the Nexus is under fire. It's going to go down. It's going to deny the Mothership. And Mothership is denied. Massive Storm. Oh my god, the Corruptors. They take a lot of hits. A lot of Corruptors go down. Here, he will lose the expansion. He will lose the Mothership. But he has another base. His economy, he's still maintaining himself. Without that Mothership, though, he's going to be stuck at home. Tries to poke out. But his push is going to be delayed. More Lurker upgrades on the way. Getting to those upgrades. herO going for a Zealot run by. Perks in. Nice Storm on the Lings. Things are being shut down. Corruptors are going for the dive once again. It's going to be a one-way trip though. These Corruptors are going to go down. Yeah, not worth it for Solar. Bleeding out a lot of Corruptors. At the same time, Zealots, they hit the northern base. Expansion's under fire. Base is going to go down. herO doing well for himself. He defends. He attacks across the map. I do give the edge to herO here. He still has the better army. Solar still finding himself. He's got 6, soon to be 10 Lurkers. He's got 20 Corruptors. Jesus. A lot of Corruptors. But 0 Spellcasters. There's, oh my god. The spine shots. But there's no Infestors, there's no Vipers. No Spellcasters whatsoever. Zealots, they distract. They distract towards the south. Here, he wants that gold. Corruptors again going for the dive. Oh, we do have that one Viper. Power Bomb goes up. A nice Power Bomb, but Brutal Storms slows down the Corruptors. Power Bomb getting a lot of damage done, but the Corruptors, they are going down. Is there enough anti-air though? There is. Yeah, the Tempest, they maintain themselves. Did the Viper survive? It did. Viper got the hell out of there. Has to pull away. How much went down? 5 Tempests fell for 24 Corruptors. Jesus. That was an expensive army, and Solar, he's burned through his bank. He's burned through his bank. Likewise, he did not replenish his drones that he lost earlier. So early on 73 workers, his economy is lackluster. Yeah, his economy is hurting. He cannot sustain these losses. Losing Corruptors like that was just so brutal. And herO might just be the first to max out. So I'll say just keep going in. Going for the base once again. Solar, he's running out of steam here. I hear him being a little bit greedy. Going for the expansion. I believe he shouldn't get it. It's getting low. But yeah. Won't get the hatchery. Like, the powerbomb and the dive is just... Yeah, it's overly aggressive here from Solar. He's not really playing the late game. He's not, like, taking into a, like, Greater Aspire into Brood Lords. There we go. 1 Abduction. Takes down 2 Tempests. Nicely done. And this is what we needed earlier. Like, picking away at the Tempest one at a time. Once he tries to commit in, the Storms are brutal. Takes down more. Go with the Storms. Storms, they pop up once again. Did take down 4 Tempest. Only losing 2 Corruptors. Not bad. And Solo diving in once again, catching up more Tempest. They were exposed. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3. 3 Tempest kills. Nicely done. And despite Solo being in a rough position only like 2 minutes ago, he's had some much better fights, some much better trades out of Solar. This is what he's been needing. Is to poke in, get like 1, 2, 3 Tempest, then back off. I don't just ape in. we don't need to ape. Just calm down, play it slow. Just pick away at the army. Don't overextend. Like, I know Solar's tempted to dive, but you know, contain yourself, Happy. Contain yourself. As hero's taking the northern base. Tempest moving in. So you're gonna be forced back. Detection was a little bit delayed. Decent setup though. The Arc is looking good. Lurker shots going off, zoning back the Grand Army. As things, they hit the northern base. Here, he's in trouble. Solo pulling back once again. But the mineral line goes down, the expansion as well. Hero out of position. Here, he's hurting. Now he's down to 6 Tempest. At one point he had 10. Ooh, does get into the mineral line. Drones are going down. Solo staying for the surround. Storms, they pop up from the Corruptors. Detection a little bit too far behind. Catching out a couple of Archons. Archons go down. Another Storm. Oh, these Corruptors are very low. Oh. Storms, they pop up once again. The Corruptors, 1 more Storm is all he needs. The Corruptors are barely holding on. Solar, calm down. He just keeps diving. And pushes in once again. Do we have another Storm? Yeah, no Storm, but there is a slow zone. GG gets called. As Solar, he commits, he will lose everything. And herO will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Whew, it went down to the wire, went all the way to the A smash, was very back and forth. Initially, herO had a much stronger start. herO rushing to the Tempest, was able to take better trades. Towards the end, Solar did have better fights, that is true, but it might have just been too little too late. Remember, even though Solar was taking better fights, he only had 73 drones. Like, his drone count was still very low. He didn't really have much of a bank to sustain himself. The reason for that, of course, is because of those trades in the lead up to the finals. Like, he took some really, really rough fights and some really rough engagements. And because of that, he had no bank. He had no bank. He had burned through all of that. And with that, herO was able to take that final fight. And again, Solar, the reason why he was so urgent towards the end of that game, why there was so much urgency there and so much, so much just flair or just aggression out of Solar, is because he knew that he was on a bit of he was falling behind. Like, he didn't really have too much going for him. Now, personally, because Solar killed the northern base, I think he could have calmed down. Like, if he hadn't, then 100%. Like, you just commit and you just go for the final fight. But because he had killed a mineral line and herO was down to 56 probes, I think Solar, he could have just calmed things down a little bit, didn't have to overextend, didn't have to commit. But regardless, GG. GG, well played. herO will claim the series, and with that, we have the grand finals. Oh boy. Exclamation mark B. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. We switch our scenes over here, and we have our grand finals. The upper semis was taking place at the same time. MaxPax takes down Creator 2-0, takes down Beyond 2-0 as well, and it's going to be a PvP finals between MaxPax and